What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This week we are doing a thermostat on a 2015 Porsche Macan S. This is a 3 liter. Pretty sure it's the same for the 3.6, but let's get right into it. I'm going to now show you the tools that you need for today. I know this might look like a lot of tools that we're dealing with today, but I'm going to walk you through each one and kind of the sets that you might need when doing this, just depending on what you have available. So let's dive right into it. I think one of the most important things to have is some headsets, some lights for your head. This is the easiest way. It is so much better than not knowing what you're looking at and what you're struggling with. So definitely some of those. You are going to need a set of Torx bits. So this is just off Amazon. We'll link these below. These are great. These worked the entire time. Well, extensions, 1/4 inch, depending on if you need them or not. Depending on other tools that you may have. I have a set of 1/4 inch sockets, of 3/8 sockets, and some extensions for 3/8. What might be useful is one of these sets. I just got this from Harbor Freight. You can get it off Amazon too though. Tiny little thing with a bunch of different options for bit sizes. The grown-up version, the big one. This is nice and easy if you have a bit driver, just to be able to zip things on and off. All the wrenches or ratchets that you might need. We have a 1/4 inch, we have a 1/4 inch hex, a decently long 3/8, and our big 1/2 inch guy. And for torque wrenches, just depends on what you have. You do not need the snap-on ones that I have, but you will need torque wrenches. So I have my 1/4 inch tech angle, 8 tech angle, 1/2 inch torque angle. Again, if you want a bit driver, get a bit driver. 1/2 inch impact for taking on and off wheels typically. 3/8 impact you might need. Didn't end up using it this time. Pry bars, we have a small, medium, and large. Just kind of nice to have a assortment. Flathead screwdriver, that came in very handy. Some of these, so we have a spoon. It's very nice to get those coolant lines on and off, and a pick. Preferably a right angle. This is a hook pick. I end up using it a few times, but a right angle is preferred. Some pliers. We have these like slip pliers, really nice for like grabbing onto hoses and stuff, which you might need. Little snips in case, for whatever reason your car has zip ties or you just need to cut something off. Some needle nose pliers. I mean, these are everyone's go-to. Like some specialty pliers. We have some hose clamp pliers. These are super nice. I mean, if you guys have not used these and you're stuck dealing with radiator hoses, these are amazing. Can't reach it? We have this style, so super nice. I mean, I love these. That is all the tools that you guys are gonna need to do this thermostat. Alrighty, first thing is first, in the engine bay, we want to get obviously the engine cover off and your cowl right here off, just to give us a little more space. Next, we're gonna want to get this off. I know I already did, I didn't get that on video, but it is just from your air intake to your intake manifold, your throttle body. Get that guy off, set it aside, and you want to get, let me pop it back out from where I put it, right here. This is just for your PCV system. It just goes right in there. A little hard to get off, but you want to pop it off and just kind of tuck it away just so we have even more room to work. So let's get into the next steps. Okay, our next steps are to get the actual throttle body off. I believe these should be around T25s, so we're gonna get, there's just 4 of them, 4 T25s off, and then we're gonna unplug it and set it aside. Just like that, make sure to get that electrical connector unplugged and throttle body is off. Just go ahead and set that aside and tuck the connector up and away somewhere that's not gonna be in the way later. So, next, we are gonna hop underneath the car and get the belts off and loose.
Guys, this has to be probably the hardest part about this, at least where I'm at right now, trying to get the tensioner loose. There's just very little room. It's very hard. So let me show you guys real quick. I'm gonna peek up in there. I know it's probably hard to see exactly where the tensioner is, but right up in there, you can just see how little room there is between the tensioner and the radiator. So we're kind of just at a stuck moment trying to get enough tension off the belt to get the belt loose. So let's keep at it.
All right, since we're a little stuck getting the belts off, how'd that feel?
Felt great. Always
looked
my
like
head
it.
on everything.
We're gonna try to give ourselves some more room. And so we already have to remove both of these coolant hoses anyway. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove these, and then I'm gonna remove the swipe pipe for the intake. So really just give us some more room, and then we'll go back and attack that serpentine belt one more time. So let's get into it. And a little trick to get these ones off, is get something underneath there, get some WD-40, spray it in, and then basically you're just gonna work your pick or your spoon and just work it, trying to break that seal. You might take a couple different tools and whatnot to try to get it loose. I just can't get the right angle with that, so we're gonna get a right angle pick and slice it under there. And just continue to basically massage the hose off. Just like that. And you're gonna snake it past all your electrical connectors and your PCV valve, and just rotate it. Try your best to just get it out of the way. So that's gonna do. All right, guys. It's been a little bit since we last checked in. Last time we checked in, we were still trying to get that pulley, that tensioner loose so we can get the belt off. And this is where we ended up. Basically, entire front end of the car off. This is all loose, so not attached to the radiator, not attached to anything. And we had to do that because our T55 that you need for that tensioner was too big. It was too long, and we couldn't get it in between the radiator fans and the like actually fitting it in there, you know? And so our solution was to do this. We still did this, didn't have enough room. So our next solution was to get the 30 millimeter on there. We finally did that with a 1/2 inch bar, and that's how we can actually crank it over and get that tensioner loose. So as soon as we did that, we got the pulley in here is fully undone. So the belt is off of it, and we got these loose. So now we are gonna work on getting these E-Torques all undone. There's 5 of them, 2 on the bottom, 3 on the top. And then the the coolant pump is gonna be able to come off. Alrighty, the 5 are out. So let's go ahead, give this a little persuasion. And just like that, I probably should have put the bucket underneath the car, shouldn't have? There you go. So here's a little crash course on this. This is your water pump. So that's what we just took off. So basically, it's as simple as this. When the thermostat opens, this finally gets that fluid going to it, spins, and that's how it goes into the radiator and through the rest of the system. But that will only happen when the thermostat opens, and it allows all the coolant to continue going through the car.
There's an electrical connector up on top you have to release.
There we go. Go straight to the thermostat. So I just grabbed some needle nose pliers, stuck it in there. You gotta be gentle with it, so you're not damaging the wires or the connector. Pinch that connector and then pull it on out.
Is you feed this rope through your thermostat and then tie a knot in it, and then you use the knot to create pressure against your pry bar. That wire works. We were able to pry it out. We're using a wire and a tool, and so the thing slips out just like this now. There we go.
Guys, new day.
Super bright light, Tate. That light is bright.
Good. Now that we have the old thermostat out, we're gonna go ahead and get the area clean. I just got some red Scotch-Brite, and you're just gonna wanna wet it down a little bit with some coolant, and then just wipe up the area. New thermostat. After we got it clean, now what we're gonna wanna do is lube up our O-rings on the actual new thermostat itself. And I just have some synthetic lubrication basically. So spray it all, and then we're gonna try to put it in. Apparently this is one of the hardest parts of it, so let's see if we can get it done.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
That's what that popping noise was?
Yeah, good job.
Good job.
Then we got the thermostat in. You'll definitely hear that pop. As soon as I heard that pop, I could feel it just go all the way in. So we need to put a new gasket on our coolant pump. So if you come here, just get a little small pick,
get under that gasket and just pop it up. It might be tricky because it's been in there for a long time. There you go. Now that we have our new gasket and the old surface ready, we're gonna go ahead and spray this with our lube and then put it in and then just put the pump on. New gasket is on. This pump is ready for installation. If you remember, the 3 bolts go face up. So 3 bolts face up and then 2 go on the bottom. So, which one am I gonna go ahead, get it kind of snaked in there. Try to do your best to limit what it touches. Make sure that you're pressing flat against it so your gasket doesn't get messed up. Thread some bolts in. And that's just one time. I like to do it preferably 3 times if you can, because you do the first torque and they might still be kind of loose, so we go ahead, go back at it second, and to double check a 3rd time.
Take tension off and also put back on. You need to make sure the tension's on to actually tighten the bolts for the pulley.
Well, we are ready to get some coolant put in this car. So once you get all your coolant lines back on, I haven't put together the rest of the car for this reason. Say if something is loose or we have a leak somewhere, it is nice to be able to notice that rather than put the whole entire car back together and then find out. So we have our, I believe this is Orion Master Tech, good brand. It seems like good quality. It's the first time using this tool. We'll link it in the description below so you guys can grab one for yourselves too. But basically we have just a few things. So we have this line. This is our easiest line. This is our exhaust line for the air. The air goes in here and it's gonna pull vacuum across the tool. So when I switch that open, it's basically going to pull vacuum into the radiator and through the whole cooling system, allowing us to pull that vacuum. And then once we're ready, we are going to open this valve, which is going to allow that coolant to get sucked fully into the system, hopefully with no air leaks. So it's simple as that. Now we just got to do it. Now that we have the cooling system fully full, I went ahead and got my pressure tester, and I'm going to pump this up just right above 1 bar, and we're going to let that sit while we put everything back together to make sure that we have no leaks. All right, now that we have and everything back together, we can actually focus on getting the engine part sealed up. Obviously, our coolant is topped off. It is where it should be. So the car is almost ready to be started and tested. So let's jump into the center and start getting everything put back together. Let's just get this PCV hose back on so it's out of the way, or at least they're a pain to take off. So I'm just gonna get set where it should go so it's out of the way, and if I, for whatever reason, need to take it off, I can. So well, that is off. We have our connector for the throttle body. Let's grab our throttle body. And it goes just like this. So you want your connector face down, so that way the flap will open vertically. And we're gonna go ahead and get this plugged in. And it has a little guide pin on it you're gonna wanna follow. Yep, right there. Perfect. And you'll kind of feel it click into place, and it should be able to stay there on its own. Let's grab our 4 bolts for it and just get them started. So you're screwing into plastic, so I always recommend using a hand tool for this, just so that way we're not cross-threading or damaging any parts that's not necessary. Our OBD plugged in. This was just super cheap, inexpensive OBD. We'll link it down in the description below. But it's not letting me clear the codes quite yet for the actual cooling performance system. And I believe that's just because the car needs to be ran. It needs to actually see that the new thermostat is installed. So let's start it up.
The truth.
We did it. I should say Tay did most of it, but this is our first project in Arizona together. I should say Tay did most of it, but this is our first project in Arizona together for our DIY. So 2015 Tay for in Arizona together for our DIY. Yeah, 2015 is my Macan S. Yeah, it was a hard project, but super happy to have it done now.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning into this week's video. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on next week's video.